Chicago to his name up in lights. Don Miller is live every Thursday night. He's bold, he's real, no filters, no shade. When hits the mic, the truth gets laid. Don's in the building, his swag so tight. Check your feelings, he's exposing all the lies. Every Thursday at 8, his voice takes the stage. The man's got soul like a record with age.
So much. It is Thursday night, the Don Miller Show. And I want to, first of all, thank my friends over here, Gonzo, and, of course, JB. I'm in their studio.
What's going on, Don?
What's going on,
Love
man?
being over here with you guys.
Absolutely.
It's definitely a breath of fresh air to smoke and do a show. And I'm so excited about this conversation tonight. I've been talking about it for many years, guys. Weapons of mass distraction. And we are living in a time where weapons of mass distraction are at probably the highest point I've ever seen them. The narrative is the narrative is so great. It's being pushed so heavily on the American people that, as the old people used to say, they can't see the forest for the trees. There's so many things going on, a lot of propaganda, and it is absolutely, to put it mildly, just total bullshit.
Yeah.
And so I want to come in tonight, and I just want to talk about a few things. Normally the show, I have a conversation lined up, but there's so many weapons of mass distraction. I'm listening to so many people who I thought were smart people who are absolutely presenting themselves as absolute morons to me. And I just don't get it. You know, you're living in a time where books don't bite, and it's so easy to just spend a few minutes doing some research that you can find out what's real and what's make-believe. And I am seeing a lot of propaganda. I'm seeing it being pushed at a high level. I ran into someone today who was telling me that they're going to lose their Medicaid and Medicare and this bill that did the president sign it today?
No, I don't think he signed it yet. So it just passed in Congress today.
Yes.
So I think he's going to sign it tomorrow as planned.
So the big, beautiful bill, as they're calling it, was being signed. It was a tight vote. 2,000. It was 218 to 214. It was tight. There were some Republicans who pushed back on it, it seemed. And it's just interesting because I think the American people are living in the dark more now than ever before. Mm-hmm. Just spend a few minutes. Everybody has a phone in their hand. Everywhere you go, people got phones in their hands. They got them in their pocket. Just spend some time and do some reading yourself. Understand how the system works. But when people are saying, I'm going to lose my Medicaid, I'm going to lose my food stamps, I'm going to get kicked off of this and kicked off of that. And it's just really unfortunate that people don't take a few minutes to understand what this is really about. Yeah. I have read a lot of it. I also know how the system works. And you're not going to lose anything in the next 6 months, whatever it is. This is going to take a while to play itself out. One of the things that I'm upset about, seems like the illegals are still going to be covered. You know what I mean? And so if it's that anti-anything, why are the illegals still covered, you know, in many of these programs? So again, do a little research, but they're weapons of mass distraction. They're things to make you look over there while you're getting God on the other side of the conversation. So again, when I'm listening to people and I'm watching people get engaged in ridiculous-ass conversations that they should not even... Look, we live in a great country. I will say that until I can't say it anymore. And to those clowns who, especially people of color, who want to say this country is not a great country, then you tell me why people are risking their lives to sneak in here. Mm-hmm. And I heard a young lady the other day who was like, I wish I could go somewhere else. I want to go to Italy. You can't afford Italy, okay?
No.
Cut it out. You can't afford Italy. Most places you want to live, you can't afford. Now, you could take your ass to a third world country and on your $2,800 a month pension, live pretty nice. until somebody realizes you got more than them and they come and get your shit. It's just amazing to me, especially with these people who come back after vacationing in third world countries and want to act like they really big. You went to a third world country on vacation. When you go to places like some of the places Colombia and the DR and some of these are third world countries you're traveling to, and you're Big Willie in a third world country.
Yeah.
I don't want to go, and it's just a human in me, to go to a country where people are begging on the street. I've set aside $4 or $5 grand, okay, for the year to go on a trip so I can be bigger than other people and then stay in somebody else's house, a bed and breakfast. You're not even staying in a 5-star hotel. If you got to go to, I'm not staying in somebody else's house I don't know in America. It's just amazing how, you talk negative of this country, but you go out and you go to a third world ass country.
Well, the problem, too, is when people see on social media someone else is traveling to, let's say, Greece or Italy, like you said, they're obviously going to be showing the best of that area where they at. They're in a tourist area. They show the best parts of it. But living there is a completely different story. It's not anywhere close to living here, and it's not better in a lot of cases.
Well, it's not better in most cases. And it's funny because this whole travel thing now with people going on trips to take pictures of their vacation, selfies and videos to show, hey, I went somewhere you didn't go. Go somewhere for real. Take your ass to the Amalfi Coast and stay in a 5-star hotel and then send me a picture. If you're staying in not a bed and breakfast, what do they call them, an air or something?
Airbnb?
Yeah.
You staying in an Airbnb in Cartagena, you ain't doing shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you paying for 4 days? You're paying $500 for 4 days.
Well, my whole thing is if you're going, when I go on vacation, I want to leave the phone behind as much as
Absolutely,
I can.
right.
My wife,
you actually are doing something in real life.
yeah,
right.
I mean, my wife, God bless her, she wants the pictures when she's over there.
And that's fine.
I get that.
Right.
But me, I'm like she'll be like, you take a picture. I'm like, no, I'm looking at the freaking, whatever's going on over here.
But the grown-ass men I see who go to these third world countries and flex, if you go to Belize,
Yeah. Well, can I give you an example?
there's no flex.
We have a friend that literally just today went to Colombia, and he told us no, I'm just leaving everything at home. I'm not bringing.
Right,
He's
that's
not bringing
called a
his
vacation.
jewelry, or his nice clothes or whatever. He said, I don't want to look like I'm. I mean, he's gonna stand out regardless, but he doesn't want to look like he's got a lot of money.
Again, and this is what I don't get it, man. And it's just so many things that I'm looking at that American people have got sucked into because of the media, and a lot to do with social media and these influencers and the influencing of grown ass people. A vacation to me was just some place to go and relax and come back, and if people want to know, you tell them about it. But when you're out there with a camera on a cliff, thinking that's a cool shot, it's just unfortunate. I saw a young guy the other day. He told me he went to a country and he's got a video and he's sitting somewhere and there are dogs and cats chasing each other through the restaurant. Like, dude, that's not a flex. You can go to the Ritz-Carlton within 30 minutes or wherever you live and have a better relaxation period than that. So it's just amazing what people are buying into. Weapons of mass distraction. The influencers are living fake lives, and now they got everybody want to live a fake life. Talking to a guy the other day, and he's telling me, all these stories, and I'm like, who's your congressman? Who's your city councilman? I don't know. Why is that important? Because you just spent 10 minutes talking about Donald Trump, but you don't even know who your congressman is. But what does that have to do with anything? It has everything to do with it. You're spending time talking about somebody, and you don't even know who represents you, who makes a difference in your daily walk.
Well, there's a reason we have blue states and red states still.
Right.
It's not because, we have a president. Doesn't mean that all the states are going to be red. We have governors.
Right.
We have mayors, of course. So it goes, it's all different levels. Obviously, even here in Florida, we have cities that are running great, and we have some cities that really aren't.
Right.
Because of different leadership. Just so having a certain president isn't going to have a blanket fix
And
on
I
everything.
think that's the level of confusion we see. That people actually they're looking to D.C. They're not looking to their mayor's office or their congressman, their state senator before their U.S. senator.
Yeah.
They have no idea who these people are. And it's unfortunate when you're trying to have these conversations, you don't know who the hell is the person. You got to be talking about the person that affects your everyday situation.
Well, too, like, didn't you vote for him?
Well, that was my next
Right.
question. What are they doing when they go to the ballot box? And they're not actually doing any research at all? They're just going down a party line.
100%.
So during this conversation, what did they say back to you when you asked them
Well,
about
again,
local?
so the guy that I was talking to is a lawyer, and he didn't know who his congressman,
Really?
he didn't know who his state rep, he didn't know who his state senator
I feel
was.
like that'd be helpful information being a lawyer.
You would think. The problem is these are the people we're putting out there now, and they're living fake lives, and they're part of the problem, not the solution. And he wanted to talk to me about Alligator Island, Alcatraz,
yeah.
which is the new place in Florida.
Is he a defense lawyer?
I don't know. I wouldn't send any clients to his dumb ass. Sorry about that, but that's a fact. But he's like, man, that's inhumane. And I'm saying, first of all, you're a black guy, and most state prisons in this country are inhumane. I don't see you raising a conversation about a state prison in this country when the numbers of people who look like you in state penitentiaries around this country is the highest number of all time. There are 2.1 million inmates in America, overwhelmingly black and brown. And you've never raised this conversation to me before. So why are you concerned?
Now.
Well, if he's
Okay.
arguing that it's
Yeah.
inhumane, would he be arguing then that it's only if they escape that building, then it would become inhumane because that's where the actual alligators are?
Again, listen to me. If you sneak into a country, you're illegal out of the gate. That is law breaking. And if you get arrested and detained for breaking the law by sneaking into a country, then what do you expect?
Right.
They're going to hold you until they send you back. In many instances, you're going to be held there for a longer period of time. I think this is a holding environment. Alligator, Alcatraz.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of nowhere. It's 45 minutes from Miami, 45 miles from Miami. If you've traveled in Florida down 75 Alligator Alley, they got that name because on both sides of the highway, there are swamps and a lot of alligators. It's known for the alligators. And so they had this piece of place, a piece of land with a real airstrip because they were looking at making another airport. And, okay, so they detained people at this location. I'm amazed at how many black people have gotten sucked into this ridiculous-ass conversation.
Yeah.
You didn't act like this when Xantavius went to prison. Not one of you Negroes protested when Xantavius, okay, and May, but none of them went to prison. Now you're worried about the Gonzalez brothers, not to mention Gonzalez.
So why you got to bring my brother into
Is that a
this?
good example, bad example?
Right. The point is, listen, there's some conversations that we should stand down on. The fact that I am seeing people defend people who broke the law now more than ever before is seriously concerning, and it should be concerning to all of us, especially those who don't think that these people should be treated better than American citizens who break the law, right?
Yeah.
So and the guy is talking to me. He's like, man, we should not have to put anybody fence them in. For what? Why not? Why not? The fact is, I'm talking to my buddy who works at the border, Brownsville, Texas, the other day. He said they're bored as hell. He said, because nobody's coming over.
Really?
So
Wonder
the
why.
message is working.
Yeah.
Whatever is to be done to keep this influx of people from sneaking into this country, it's working. So I applaud that out of the gate. When I look at cities like Chicago, where this illegal immigration situation is draining them financially, several $100 million in right now, taking care of people that's never paid into the system, never paid a traffic ticket, never paid a parking meter, yet they are benefiting off the backs of people who work their asses off in this country. So listen, we got to beware of weapons of mass distraction. And that is not my fight. Go home, come back the right way, like many people who came to this country, who did it the right way. Go read the names at Ellis Island. And stop confusing black people with immigrants. We are imports. We were brought here in shackles and chains in the hulls of ships. We did not seek out this land. This land sought us out.
Yeah.
And any white person that thinks it's okay to refer to a black person or even conjure up the conversation that a black person might be an immigrant, you're foolish and you need to be educated. And I'm just offended by it. And I'm watching this propaganda drive and I'm watching these people speak without knowledge, and it's shameful. It is absolutely shameful. Research and reading, man, I'm telling you, to change your life, man. It's so eloquently said. Again, I go all the way back. Frederick Douglass, man. Knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave, man. If you know what they did with the slaves who sought knowledge, you would never, ever take it for granted. Seek knowledge. Be well read. Be well versed. It is so unfortunate when I hear grown-ass people who brag about their accomplishments at institutions of higher learning say some of the dumbest, most ridiculous stuff I've ever heard, Gonzo.
Yeah. Well, like you said, too, real quick, sorry, about a lot of these areas are losing money or were losing money because of all the immigration issues. The example of Alcatraz, as Ron DeSantis and Trump were saying, is they used leftover money that was given to them from the Biden administration and found, like you said, a plot of land that they weren't using, basically using leftover resources to build it. So we have great leadership now that is trying to find ways to use essentially what used to be waste and turn it into something that we could actually be
Positive,
useful.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. I don't understand the defense of people who snuck into this country. Why are we defending these people who are draining the system? That are getting more than many of the people who've worked in this and paid into the system.
Yeah.
It's this most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. How are you supporting someone who's taken, quite frankly, they're taken from you?
Well, I mean, I think the people supporting them vote a certain way, and they agree a certain way. But we all know the long-term goal is to get them citizenship so they can vote and
Absolutely.
keep and maintain the exact same people are voting for.
This is absolutely. These are the new voters.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, the new voters.
These are the new voters. These are the replacements for those people who've shied away from the process.
Yeah.
And we want to encourage people to just get some education on this, because if you don't see how quickly it's turning, this week there is a trial for the last 6 weeks of a damn rapper perv by the name of Sean Combs.
That's putting it nicely.
He's a rapper perv, right? And I'm amazed at how many people who think it's okay when he was kind of exonerated. He was exonerated from the major charges. They were out in front of the courthouse putting baby oil on each other, right? And I'm looking at these black folk who are looking at this guy as a martyr because he had more money than you and he beat the charges. But the state did an overreach. The government did an overreach. And it's amazing how people are applauding this guy who I watched stomp a black woman on the ground. Now, let me just say, I don't care if they caught Puffy with 75,000 kilos of cocaine in the back of a U-Haul. My issue is, I saw him abuse a woman. You follow me?
Yeah.
And as anybody with a daughter, or even want to have a daughter, or with a sister, and you think it's okay to cheer this piece of shit on, then shame on you. You're part of the problem, not the solution. But that entire trial was a weapon of mass distraction. Why did we spend so much time worried about a rich guy
Yeah.
who was a freak and had a bunch of people around him who were chasing his money and allowing him to abuse them in many instances? Most of them were adults. I didn't see any children in this situation. Why is this a national story? Why is it taking up the news? Because they want that to take up the news when the real issues are being pushed to the side. And that's my problem. The other day I read an article of Gonzo about black voters and Trump. Did you get that?
The article, yeah.
Yeah, you got that screenshot. And I was like, this can't be true. And I started to how black voters, they did a survey of 1,000 black voters, and I was really surprised how it came out. And black people are still supporting Trump, but they don't want you to know that. So they want to turn you to these other situations, which I call weapons of mass distraction. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, why are we even paying attention to this guy who is becoming a martyr to a bunch of idiots? This guy is a terrible person. Nobody should cheer him on. If he walks tomorrow, he's still a terrible person. Mm-hmm. His own lawyers, they took the L that he was violent. All right, sure, he was violent, but he's not RICO. No, he's terrible. He's violent. He paid us a lot of money, but you didn't get him on RICO. You didn't get him on racketeering. But yeah, he beats women. He degrades women.
Big whoop.
Huh?
So what charge was he actually not exonerated from?
The Mann Act was an act, Senator Mann at the time in 1909 or 1910 came up with this law about interstate travel with women for prostitution. This law was actually enacted, if you go back and look at the Mann Act, maybe 1909, 1910, to get a guy by the name of Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson was a black man, a great boxer in that era, who dated white women. I think Jack Johnson married a white woman. And this was set up to get Jack Johnson. And they got Jack Johnson.
Didn't they make a movie on that?
I'm pretty sure there's something out there. But the interesting thing is, that's what they got him on, pretty much, the Mann Act. But that's still a weapon of mass distraction. Why are we focused on that when there's so many things happening in our own community that is way more important than a one-off freak rich guy with a bunch of people chasing his money who are accepting abuse? Mm-hmm. Man, I'm sure I'll get canceled for that, but I don't care. These people in that circle with this guy, the rich guy, they were engaged in this quite comfortably, the way it looks to me, right?
Yeah.
But it's still, the point to me is when I saw him beat that young lady, it was a wrap. Go ahead, man.
No, I was saying that these people that were involved too, besides essentially using code words, they spoke openly about it on television all the time.
Right.
You can find clips of Jennifer Aniston and all these other people, celebrities, talking about the parties that they attended with Diddy or of other people. Mm-hmm. So all the people in Hollywood, for the most part, are a part of this.
But again, it got the entire American, everybody's attention was locked into this guy's trial for what?
Well, it's just like the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial.
Absolutely.
They throw it on TV, and then everyone on social media is talking about it because that's all it's on TV, and they're so invested in the drama. Mm-hmm. But they're not looking at what's actually going on.
Right.
This stuff always appears, like you said, when there's something really important going on that they don't want us to see or look into.
Right.
There's a new trial with someone that we really shouldn't give a crap about because who cares? This guy is, I got more money.
It's almost like the actors are still acting outside of the studio.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. And it's amazing to me because I'm watching this. I spent more time watching the push to get this big, beautiful bill passed, and I spent some time looking at it, and I was asking people, hey, have you been following this? No, I'm following the P Diddy trial. For what?
But even if you do follow the traction of the big, beautiful bill, you're still getting biased opinions on it.
That's the point. But at least attach yourself to something you may learn something from, as opposed to something you're not going to get anything out of.
Something that has at least a little bit of effect on your life.
Absolutely.
As opposed to nothing at all.
And so when I called a buddy of mine in Chicago today. I'm talking to him, and he's talking about the P Diddy trial. And I'm like, dude, you're a grown-ass man. Why are you watching this? He's like, man, come on, man. You know. I said, you heard about what happened in Chicago last night? He said, no. Let me tell you what happened in Chicago last night. There was a mass shooting for real. 18 people shot. I want to play this clip. You got that clip, man?
Yeah.
I want to play this clip, right? So you get a mass shooting within 20 minutes of your house, but you're focused on a trial in New York that has nothing to do with your life. Check this out.
Yeah. Yeah, this clip doesn't have audio, but it's showing
Yeah.
the what's going on there.
Yeah. And so again, right? What are we doing? What are we doing? 18 people shot, 4 dead at a club near downtown Chicago.
Well, I remember when they used to bring this stuff up all the time when it favored them on the gun control debate.
Absolutely.
But right now,
You can't use that anymore.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
It's amazing, too. 18 people shot, 4 dead, and not one call to take guns away. Huh?
Right.
Now, let me just say this.
It's not an election year.
It's not an election year, right? And these are black people. This is if 18 white folk got shot, JB, 4 dead, that's on every news channel in America.
Or maybe if it was a white shooter.
Yeah.
Huh?
If it was a
Yeah.
white
It was
shooter.
a white shooter who shot black people, right?
It was a white shooter?
No, if it was.
Yeah, if it was.
No,
yeah,
if
I
it
was
was,
saying.
yeah.
Okay?
But
or
it
if it was a
wasn't in this
black
case.
shooter who shot white people.
Ah.
Would you concur?
Yeah. It'd be all over the
Again,
news.
they pick what they want us to focus on. This is of epic proportion. 18 people shot, 4 dead, leaving a club. Only people I'm seeing covering it, I'm seeing little pieces nationally, but nobody's really covering it.
So it wasn't a gay club. It wasn't a school.
Absolutely.
It wasn't
Right.
black and white.
Right.
It wasn't anything that could serve the race war or the gun control or anything like that.
And that's why, that's the weapons of mass distraction. If we were in an election cycle, the first question would have been, what kind of gun did they shoot?
Yeah. And then they'd say it was an AR-15 regardless.
No matter what. You follow me?
Yeah.
We got to take these guns off the street. If that was a gay club, oh my God.
Yeah. Especially
Huh?
June was a couple days
Right.
ago.
They're attacking the gays. We have to watch closely how the narrative is being driven. That is a real 18 innocent people leaving a club at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And some fools drive by and open fire. And nobody even knows. The guy in Chicago that I was talking to didn't even know it happened. You don't think that's weird? But he knew everything about the Puffy trial. Puffy trial's in New York. And this is, they give us what they force
Yeah.
feed you this. Hey, this is what I want you to pay attention to. I want you to pay attention to this. And then they just throw it at you. Then you got these people. Many of these people, these influencers, are getting checks to
Yeah.
drive the narrative.
And that's been proven.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, they're getting checks to drive the narrative.
Yeah. Condolences to the families.
Yeah,
as someone said.
absolutely, man. It's just unfortunate when if you pay attention, you can see so easily how the game is being played on people. And I contend, as Stephen Biko so eloquently said, the greatest weapon of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed.
How do people deprogram themselves and kind of get out of this motion of just watching Fox News or CNN every single day they wake up? You know what I mean? They're addicted
I
to
think
the
it's-
drama, the trauma, the action.
I think
you
it's
know.
too late, JB. I actually think that we're going to have to hopefully find somebody that can lead this country that's going to talk eloquently to the common person and not talk over their heads and not use race or political ideology to drive the narrative. That is what's hurting us, man. It's amazing when you hear, I'm amazed when I watch black politicians attach themselves to stuff that I'm like, oh, the hell you. Let me just give you an example. I'm watching the riots in L.A. a few weeks ago, and I'm watching these Mexicans who have come into this country illegal, or these people who support these illegal Mexicans, because I don't believe any of the illegal Mexicans was dumb enough to go march with the Mexican flag, but these are people supporting them. But I'm watching black politicians at the forefront of these marches supporting these illegal Mexicans. And I contend, and I have said it over the years, and there have been studies to prove it, that illegal immigration directly affect the wages of black people in this country. Yet you got black politicians who are doing what they're told. They have marching orders that, hey, we got to support them. That's the new voter.
Yeah.
And that's why you see some of these people out here marching with them. It is ridiculous. If you don't like Mexico, and you sneak in here from Mexico or Honduras or Guatemala or any of these places, the last thing in your car and on your mind should be the flag of that oppressive regime that you fled.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yet you're here holding up the flag of the oppressive regime that you told us you walked 400 miles with your kids to flee. Well, why would you give a damn about that flag?
Yeah.
It's just, it makes no sense, but it's all orchestrated. Many of these people have been dropped off. Many have been paid. Yet we are so caught up in the ideology behind the curveball that we attach ourselves to ridiculous ass notions. The fact is, alligator Alcatraz, as far as I'm concerned, ain't big enough. Okay? If you came in here wrong, I was just talking to a wonderful gentleman earlier tonight. He said he knew a guy who had been in this country for 45 years. Wife was a citizen, daughters were citizens. And 45 years after coming to this country, he was deported because he had never thought it was a good idea to fill out the paperwork. Mm-hmm. How can you feel bad for him?
I think I said this on, I don't know if it was your show or another show, but Trump's first run, you think, oh, maybe I should look into at least applying to become a citizen so I can actually be put in the system and be able to stay here. No. When he ran a second time, didn't think about it. And now the third time's here, it's like, well, you still haven't done it?
Look, if I was an illegal and Trump won in 16,
yeah,
I'd have figured out a way to get my shit to go.
Yeah, where's my lawyer?
It's crazy, right? Huh? Where do I sign up to be a citizen or get some level of documentation?
Exactly, and that was 8 years ago.
Yes. And for a person who's been here 45 years and your wife is a citizen and your children are citizens and you were like, I'm going to just, keep going. And all of a sudden you get snatched up and sent back. Hey, I don't mean no harm. I'm suffering from stage 4 compassion fatigue. Words cannot express how much I don't care. Yeah. You had 45 years to figure it out. And in those 45 years, there were 30 plus years that you probably could have figured it out easy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, especially depending on the administration.
In the 80s?
They made it so easy.
In the 80s, it was easy. Okay? In the 90s, it was easy. It only got weird in the last 20 years.
Yeah. So, people don't want to bring up Obama, but he deported more illegals than Trump did in his first administration.
Yeah, without giving them a shot to figure it out.
Yeah.
But, of course, you can't talk about the brother.
No.
Oh, man, that's a black man. You'll get canceled.
Well, he's half, maybe.
Yeah, whatever. but the point I'm making is this, man. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Mm-hmm. I'm tired, man. I'm tired of watching. I'm tired of hearing stupidity. And then you look at what is transpiring, what's coming down the pipes. Let's take New York, for example. Mm. For my friends who are watching this show and listening in New York, y'all need to get y'all stuff. New York's in trouble.
I saw a video just before we started the show. It's like, why are these rich people leaving New York? It's only an extra 2% tax that they're trying to put on your wealth. And then the guy goes and breaks it down and says, well, actually, if you do the math, it's going to be another 10% on top of it. And all these people are like, I don't get it. What's wrong with acquiring private housing and turning it into communal homes for people? Free housing, free groceries, free bus, all this and that, which the new guy is talking about.
Mm-hmm. But again, look, when you get somebody that's trying to be a leader, that's saying free, run fast.
Yeah.
Okay? Free is the greatest curveball of all time. Free. Mm-hmm. Nothing's free.
No, nothing's free.
Okay? And this guy, Zoran, whatever his name is, I'm amazed that he has been able, at 33 years old, to get to a point. If I said some of the stuff that this guy has said in his career, they'd be looking for me to hang me upside down.
Well, too, he kind of came out of nowhere, as most of them do anyway.
I was about to say the same thing. When people come out of nowhere, especially at his youth and his age, he's being funded by somebody.
Oh, no, ain't no question. But he comes from money. He's got a weird background.
It's always this
He's got a weird background. He's rich. Went to Bowdoin College in Maine. Somebody paid for it, and it ain't cheap. And has only an undergraduate degree. He was a community organizer.
Oh, sounds familiar. Sounds familiar.
Ah, remember the last community organizer that was a Muslim?
Yeah, I
right?
remember that. Yeah.
This
What
guy.
was his name?
Hussein Obama.
Yeah,
okay.
that's correct.
This guy's a weirdo.
Yeah.
And listen, New Yorkers, I want to say this to the New Yorkers, right? And if you are a Jewish person in New York, you should be scared as hell right now. The problem is people like this who rise from nowhere. They're always selected before they're elected, right? He is doing the bidding of somebody. Somebody's got this guy out there.
Yeah.
He's a weirdo. He said some of the most ridiculous ass anti-Semitic stuff you've ever heard. How is he even a contender? If I say hunky too loud, they want to cancel Don Miller. Don Miller said hunky, right?
I'd say hello.
Right?
Yeah.
This guy is absolutely a weirdo, but people voted for him because young people gonna vote for him because the greatest draw to young people is that word free. I got something free for you.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, actually. It's sad.
No, that's the way it is. And this guy's a weapon of mass distraction. He's out here talking about what's free. He wants everybody to listen. I always say, if you want everybody to like you, don't be a leader. Sell ice cream, okay? For real. You follow me?
Yeah.
And this guy is out here talking about free busing, free housing, taking money from the rich. We have too many rich people.
And then they get, wait a minute, why are all the rich people leaving?
Right. Okay.
But why is he rich?
Huh?
He's going to remove himself?
Well, is he going to pay for it?
Yeah.
Again, it's a scam, and I hope people understand it's a scam. And I'm watching the people in New York. I'm concerned about the people in New York right now. If you're still left in New York, I don't know, because everybody I know that really had like I'm out, right?
Yeah.
If you're still okay in New York right now, then yeah, maybe you get what you deserve. Because if you have the ability to leave, you about to get out of there quick.
Do you know who's funding him, or is that a whole other episode?
I don't know
Or we can't say it?
who's funding him. Oh, if I know, I would tell you. But I'm pretty sure we're going to find out soon.
Yeah.
He is a Democratic socialist. He's an admitted Democratic socialist. I don't know what a Democratic socialist really looks like anymore.
It usually goes back to the same group of people anyway, so I
Right.
wouldn't be surprised.
I know he was a,
who's that?
He was a supporter of the little old man. What was the little old man? The senator from Delaware.
Little old man from Delaware?
Yeah, the senator from Delaware. Ran for president. Anyway, come on, guys. Anyway, but ran for president. Nice guy. He's probably the most genuine guy. He just ran for
Delaware.
president a few years
Delaware.
ago. Yeah, not Delaware.
Oh.
Vermont.
Oh, there we go.
So
Bernie
Bernie
Sanders.
Sanders.
Vermont, right.
Yeah.
The senator
Because
from
Delaware
Vermont,
is originally Biden.
Yeah, I
So it's
know,
like
yeah.
little
Senator
old man.
from Vermont. Okay, right. Bernie Sanders,
Yeah.
who is kind of Democratic socialist, right?
Pretty much.
But he's probably the most genuine guy there because he's been saying the same nonsense for 37 years.
He's consistent. We can
Yeah,
say that.
he
Yeah.
continues to say the same
That's the
nonsense.
thing. I have more respect for people like that. It's like at least that he hasn't changed his mind like all the other ones. At least he's saying the same thing.
Again, Bernie Sanders has not changed his mind, but we don't need that type of person leading anything for real. And this guy is Bernie Sanders on steroids.
Yeah.
And it has to be dealt with. And I'm hoping the people in New York. Interesting thing about New York, though, the way they vote, everybody who lost in the primary can still run, which is
Yeah.
kind of New York.
Defeats the purpose.
Yeah, it's
You
like,
follow
what
me?
are the rules?
Why
Like,
would you
well, I
run
was
it?
saying this the other day. Cuomo was able to run again
Yeah,
after that whole
right.
thing, and he was winning.
But this guy, I think this guy has hurt himself since Cuomo lost by doubling down on ridiculousness.
He got
I
more
don't think a
comfortable.
lot of people really knew how weird he was. And now he's way more comfortable. He won the primary. He won't answer questions. He was on the morning shows, Sunday morning shows, and they were asking him, about his views on a bunch of stuff. And he was like, pretty much, I'm not answering any of those questions. And again, 33-year-old person you never heard of, no real background, nobody knows, and he's a community activist. We've been down that road before. Stand down. We've been down that road. No more community activists for president. That's a T-shirt. Because this guy's a weirdo. Mm-hmm. And I think that he is going to really create a problem that people aren't ready for. But again, go look at the weapons of mass distraction, election cycle in New York, the elections in November, I think. And there are going to be some things that pop up to throw everybody off, to make them look over there. It's just like growing up, there was a guy that used to play this game called 2-card Molly or 3-card Molly, and follow the card, right? And you never could follow the card. Mm-hmm. And you always got caught, and people put money. I remember riding a public bus back in the day.
In the subways.
Yeah, and the guy was on, remember those? The guy was like moving the cards.
Yeah, 3-card
like,
Monte,
five. I put $5 right there. And there was always a guy working with the guy who was like, I'm following, I'm $20, right? And everybody would get with the guy with $20 because they figure he know what he's doing. And he's working with the guy, and then the guy would get everybody's money. The fact is, we're watching that as we speak. The guy in New York is going to be a problem that I think people are going to really suffer from and have to deal with. You can't let that guy be the next mayor of New York.
No.
I don't remember. I can't even say his name, but I could tell you.
That's the first problem.
That's the first problem. No, you laughing. That's the first problem. But he's a democratic socialist. He is a Shia Muslim. He identifies as a member of the Twelver branch, which is the largest branch of Shiites in the world, probably 80%. But we got to be careful, guys. It's not that he's a Muslim that's the problem. The problem is he's a weirdo, and you don't know who he is. And we got to stop voting for people we don't know who they are. That didn't work out for us pretty good last time.
Well, just you look at England.
Right.
How's that working out for them?
Oh,
almost
gosh.
every mayor of any major city is Muslim.
Yes.
I don't think that's a coincidence.
No, absolutely not. And I don't want that to get here. It's, again, not an attack on the Muslim community. There's some wonderful Muslims. I have some great Muslim friends, some of my closest friends. But we don't know him. And we shouldn't vote for anybody who we can't look at their track record. We can't allow people to engage in the process whose history is a mystery.
Because he has no track record, right?
None.
Yeah.
Zero. But he talked about free stuff, and that's, we got to get past that too. And it's amazing how many people can go to a microphone and start talking about free stuff, and free stuff gives them credibility. Oh man, he said he gonna give us free what?
Yeah.
We got to be careful with that.
Well, the easy route always sounds great. When someone gives you something for free, it's like, okay, I'll take it.
It goes back to a conversation I was having a few shows ago about the things that we should address in this country and stand against weapons of mass distraction. We got to deal with the gerontocracy in American politics. The gerontocracy in American politics is the greatest crisis we face politically. And when I say gerontocracy, I mean a environment controlled by old people. That's a problem in this country. When you look at the number of people in American government on Capitol Hill that are 70 plus, it's frightening. Just last night, yesterday, the 80-year-old congresswoman from Ohio, while the Democratic leader was speaking, Jeffries, she was knocked out of sleep behind him on video. And one of the aides had to go and take her from her seat, quietly walked over and tapped her because she was in the shot, sleep. But she wasn't alone. The problem is, if we don't address the gerontocracy, you got that video?
Yeah, right here.
When you
Throw it
launch
up.
an all-out assault on the health care of the American people, when you effectively
Right in the back, lady.
end Medicaid as we know it, gut parts of the Affordable Care Act, what you essentially are doing,
Someone younger shows up. Stay awake.
Like, ma'am, you need to leave. Look, like, ma'am, it's time. You can come on with me. She's like, all right, get your purse. Look at grandma. Like, I'm going ahead and go. They don't embarrass me. Everybody All right, come on. All right, you can go. You can go leave. We're gonna put somebody a little younger in your seat.
Just come back for the vote.
Okay, look, put somebody younger in the seat. See,
Yeah.
what is that about? They put somebody younger in the seat. We have to deal with the gerontocracy in this country. They're too old.
Well, you know, too, if you zoomed out, it's probably all empty there.
But they're too old.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we've had how many die while they were still here?
67 people have died in D.C., federal politicians in the last 50 years.
Right.
Like 67, like still in office. People still voting for them. And they're old. And they're already getting pensions. And how can you be effective? But again, they came up with a term that I'd never heard of, and they called me this name. I'm an ageist. Never heard of that term. They said, I don't like old people. I'm old. It's just, when we watch how this plays out, we should be comfortable calling BS when we see it.
Absolutely.
But everybody, and I'm so mad at white people. I'm going to take a few minutes to talk to the white people right now.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I wish the white people would just stop.
Getting mad.
Yeah.
I know the white people so worried about somebody calling them a racist if they say so. Man, I'm talking to a dude the other day, and he was like, you know, it's okay if you disagree. It's okay. I'm not gonna call you a name. It's like they won't even say nonsense when it's not. Well, I'm not really gonna say. The fact is, it's time for people to get back to the way we were, and we could speak openly. We could disagree publicly.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a lot of issues with that. People are too sensitive and too afraid to have a conversation, number one. And number two, they've seen all the other people that have lost their jobs, been canceled for saying something that was really not even that crazy.
Right.
And you see that over and over again, and you see the comments, and it's like, oh, I don't want to deal with that.
Okay, speaking of being canceled real quick, what are you smoking, man?
Well, hopefully we don't get canceled for smoking, but I'm smoking Samparai Blue, which is a very great brand. They're actually a sponsor of the Cigar Guys. So definitely check out Samparai Cigars. They're an up-and-coming brand.
Okay.
But very great cigars, aged 7 years. Absolutely fantastic.
Okay. What you smoking over there?
I'm smoking a Perdomo. I smoke these pretty much every day. It's a 20th anniversary.
I know where you smoke them at, too.
Yeah, that's true. This is the 20th anniversary Maduro Churchill.
Okay,
So.
cool. And you can find that at the people I'm getting ready to talk about right now. Corona Cigar Company, to coronacigar.com. I am smoking 150th anniversary Romeo and Julieta. This is amazing. I'd never smoked this before. It is Ecuadorian wrapper, Mexican binder. And I'd never smoked this. The filler is Nicaraguan and Peruvian and Dominican. This is good. And you know,
Sounds
guys,
good.
I smoke mild to medium.
Yeah.
This is kind of medium-ish.
Okay.
I love this.
Yeah.
Again, you can pick it up at Corona Cigar Company or head over to coronacigar.com. The price point is excellent on this stick. It, again, is a 150th anniversary Romeo and Julieta. Go to Corona Cigar. Tell them I told you about this. Please do that.
Absolutely.
Tell them Don Miller was smoking that, and it is a good stick.
Yeah, we've got one in here, too. You were so kind to give us this little
Yes,
package here.
absolutely, right.
There's one of them in here and a couple other sticks. But, yeah, Romeo and Julieta, I mean, they've been around for a long time. They've got a great track record. And I'm excited to try that cigar. It does sound really good.
It is, and I'm telling you, the people at Corona Cigar Company, they're our friends. JB, you're there often.
Probably too often, honestly.
Well, you know what? But they
Yeah,
treat us right.
they do.
And again, so listen, guys, shout out to them. Also, listen, shout out to my friends at Casa Leon Jewelers. Renee and Yvette. Man, I love you guys so much. These are my friends. Gonzo, you know them. They are wonderful people. They smoke with us. They actually smoke with us. And they have a wonderful, wonderful store in Lake Mary, Florida, Casa Leon Jewelers. You got that? You got their stuff? And I just want to say thank you to them. They always look out. We smoke good cigars together. They are good friends of Corona Cigar Company as well. And you can absolutely go check out what they're doing at their website, Casa Leon Jewelers. And we got to shout out our buddy, Robbie, who we also smoke with at the Vineyard Lake Mary.
Love the vineyard.
Yes. What you like?
Filet mignon's good. He likes a meatloaf.
The meatloaf is amazing.
Yeah, it's a go-to.
Yeah, that's the go-to.
Sometimes
the
a
meatloaf.
hot dog.
The hot dog, that
That
splitter,
Wagyu
that
splitter.
Wagyu
Wagyu
splitter
splitter.
is one of the best things on the menu. again, head over to the Vineyard Lake Mary. Tell them that it didn't mention any of our names. They all know us, and we have a good time there. But these are people that we support, that support us, and we just want everybody to know that this show, the Don Miller Show, is about people and about building a community of conversation. And we thank you so much for supporting us. I just like hanging out in the studio with these guys and smoking good cigars. But again, what I am smoking, this is good. This might end up being my go-to 150th anniversary Romeo and Julieta. And you could taste, you're going to like this. I think you're going to like this. Again, thank you so much again, everyone, for joining us. We got a great conversation coming up again next week. But we have to continue to be aware of weapons of mass distraction. There's so many things going on that are drawing our attention away from the things we should be really, really looking at. The president is probably going to sign this bill in the next day or two.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Okay, tomorrow's the 4th of July. Please be careful out there, guys. Also, depending on what city you're listening in, be careful. There's been some scuttlebutt. There may be some issues. And be careful. We live in a great country. Everybody don't love our country like we love our country. So if you're out and about, just stay focused, stay vigilant, and just really be careful, Gonzo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So what are you guys doing for the 4th of July?
We're going to go to the beach, hang out there. It's not too far from here, so, we're not going to be traveling much or anything, but have a nice beach day, hang out with some food, family.
Hopefully catch the sun before the rain pours in,
So carry your gun.
Always.
Carry your gun. Always.
Might as well.
I got you, bud.
Yeah.
I got you, okay? I got you covered over there. But again, listen, I just want people to be careful. And we are in some very interesting times. Everybody don't like you that smile at you. Just stay focused, stay vigilant. Start to spend. How about you? I got a suggestion. How about some of y'all just go read, spend a whole 3-day weekend, 4-day weekend reading? That's a good idea. And I could suggest some amazing books. Matter of fact, I got a book that I've been reading that I want to tell y'all about right now. We used to have the book club. Remember Gonzo on the Don Miller Show?
Yeah.
Till D'Amico kicked us to the curb. We haven't been pushing the book club. But I'm going to tell you what I've been reading that I thought was pretty good. And it is The Original Sin by Jake Tapper. I read it, and I thought it was really interesting. So I've just finished Original Sin, and I'm also reading 25 Lies by Vince Everett Ellison, which is great. I think you would like it.
Okay.
And so 25 Lies, and of course, Jake Tapper's book, The Original Sin. Some really good. There's another book I just finished, The Real Anthony Fauci. That's a hell of a book by Robert F. Kennedy.
Ooh.
Oh, man. He's dragging his ass up and down the street, which he deserves to be dragged up
That
and
might
down
be
the
a
street.
good book to read for this weekend.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. The Real Anthony Fauci. It's amazing. I was reading that book, and what I learned, man, Anthony Fauci was the guy in charge when the AIDS epidemic broke.
Exactly. Yep.
40 years ago, Anthony Fauci was the guy in charge when the AIDS epidemic broke, and he downplayed it at a level where many people believe that one of the reasons why it gotten to the point that it did is because of the downplay by this guy. Anthony Fauci is, all right, I'm going to let that go, but yeah, there's not, good books are really good books, guys, and I'm telling you, you can never have enough knowledge. But so those are the books. I'm going to repeat this real quick, what I'm reading. I just read The Real Anthony Fauci by Robert F. Kennedy. Vince Ellison's book is a brilliant book, and The Original Sin by Jake Tapper. I think we all should, that's right, that's out right now. It's a bestseller, and that we all should be kind of, if you're looking for something good to read where you can learn something and get some knowledge, I think that's what you got to do. If you don't want to read the book, I like turning pages.
Yeah.
But Audible is amazing.
Yeah, I love Audible.
I want to promote Audible, but Audible is amazing. You could just turn it on and just kind of sit and listen if you're driving. You get some really knowledge. Knowledge is a wonderful, wonderful tool, man. And especially when you find yourself sometimes in places where you feel like you're out of place. I had somebody tell me recently, they were in a room and people were talking about books, and he was like, man, I couldn't add anything. Well, that's your fault. That's your fault, okay? Just it's really easy. Seek knowledge. Knowledge is growth, man. Okay? And you can't grow if you don't know. Knowledge is the game changer. And I just believe that we got to continue to push people to seek knowledge. Again, shout out to what I'm smoking right now. These Romeo and Julieta, 150th anniversary. This is really good.
And shout out to the top fans today. We have Geoff, who's a top fan, as well as Tanya, who's a top fan. So the more you guys engage with us, that brings you up there in the leaderboard. But a lot of great comments in here and a lot of conversation today that a lot of people here, someone just said that, talking about Fauci, he was responsible for the death of so many people.
Absolutely.
True, yeah.
No, ain't no question about it. Shout out to Denny Moore, who is in beautiful Florilla, Alabama. He's a big fan of the show. Atlee, hi, how are you? LaTanya Gibson Bowman. Again, PJ, thank you so much, man. I ran into Geoff the other day at the barbecue. We had a great barbecue. Hey, Carol, thank you so much for listening to the show. Again, thank you so much, everybody. We'll be back next Thursday night. I don't know. You can always go back. Oh, subscribe and like. Gonzo, I'm supposed to say that all the time. Listen, I have a clip out. I have 2 clips out that's over 1 million.
Yeah.
Right now. I have 2 clips that's well over. One's well over 1 million.
Yeah, go to the shorts here on Don Miller.
Yeah. I got one that's well over 1 million, and I got one that's about right at 1 million. So follow us on YouTube, The Don Miller Show. Follow us on all platforms, The Don Miller Show. Shoot me an inbox. If you got something you want to hear us talk about on The Don Miller Show, you can always shoot us an inbox at any of the platforms, The Don Miller Show, Don at The Don Miller Show. I love engaging and hearing what people want to talk about. But as I tell you, I love coming to Gonzo's studio because I can sit here and spill my drink.
And smoke cigars and have a good time.
Smoke cigars, have a good time. And it's just fellowship, you know? Fellowship is amazing. Listen, I am going to be doing, and you guys got to figure your schedules out, a live broadcast from Corona Cigar Company. I'm going to announce the date next week, live in the cigar bar with some drinks and some sticks, engaging with the people, and come out and see us. Last weekend we were at Organic Meats. You didn't come. We had some tomahawk steaks, some barbecue. But I want to get out and be with the people. I'm going to do a bunch of live shows and get out and be among the people. But we're going to kick it off with 2 live shows at Corona Cigar, one at the Lake Mary location, and we're going to probably go to the other location. There are 4 locations.
Yeah, we're talking about Sand Lake probably.
Yeah. But so I want everybody to feel comfortable coming out. You ain't got to smoke, but please feel free to come out and say hi and listen to the show live. It's much better live, I promise you. We had a live show one time, and the dude drank all the drink and then had a heart attack at the show.
Damn.
But he drank all my monkey shoulder, man. Okay, come on, man. You can't drink all the drink and then you have a heart attack. Live, while we were live, he had a heart attack.
Is he okay now?
Yeah, he's good. He's good, but, you know, he need to figure out some things. But, you know, he drank all the drink, and next thing you know, he had a heart attack. And I'm not trying to be funny, but you drank all my drink. Shout out to Real Rap Kane, man. No, Real Rap Kane didn't have a heart attack. No. Real Rap Kane didn't have a heart attack. But the other guy had the heart attack.
You got to, there's some context.
But the show was exciting, so he probably was a little excited. But he did drink half of the bottle. So, you know, you got to be careful. Again, thank you so much. Have a great holiday. Follow us, subscribe and like. Feel free to inbox us if you got show topics or something you want to hear us talk about. We will be back next Thursday night. So for myself, JB, and Gonzo, we appreciate your support. Bye-bye, y'all.
From the heart of Chicago to his name up in lights, Don Miller is live every Thursday night. He's bold, he's real, no filters, no shade. When hits the mic, the truth gets laid.